Hi, I'm Dalen with Mizu Inc. Today I'm going to be showing you how to measure for a mesh safety cover. So all we're going to need today is a piece of paper to write it down and a measuring tape. And of course, if you have someone to help hold the other side of the tape, it's always easier. So we're going to do the old style today, and we'll show you how to do it. First, we'll measure the width from coping to coping. Okay, and then I'll do the length. On this one has an automatic pool cover, so we'll go coping to the front of the cover box. And now we're gonna go around the pool, and if there's any obstructions within the first 3 feet of the pool, we wanna put those on our little graphic. So we'll measure from the edge of coping to the front of the diving board. And we'll do the same thing on the other side, just so they can plot this into the design of the mesh cover. We'll measure the width of the cover box, just so that's included in those measurements. So this is the diagram we've made. The more detailed, the better. Obviously you have our width, our length, and then all those little measurements you saw us take from to, we can plot in the diving board and the slide, and of course the cover box. Another nice thing to add is I always put a little compass, just for reference for the factory if we're talking about a side. And the last thing we need after we have all this is just go and take as many pictures around the pool of the coping as much as possible. Again, the more detail, the better. So when they're making this mesh cover custom to the pool, it can be as accurate as possible. Okay, so we'll get one of the whole pool down each side. We're trying to show the decking on this, kind of where that's going to be plotted, installed. Some of you might be asking about the splash pad. That's past the 3 foot mark, so I'm not actually going to worry about it. Pictures of the cover box. It's always good to get pictures of the obstructions, and that should be good. So now we've showed you how to measure with a tape measure. If you have a Latham measure, we'll show you how to do that as well. When setting this up, finding your position, you want to make sure it can see the entire pool, especially if there's going to be blind spots behind the obstructions, things like that. We don't like to set it up facing the sun. That can affect the way it reads it. Just kind of find a nice shady spot or just not in direct sunlight. And now we'll plot some points. We're going to go around point to point, allowing the measure unit to kind of track you. Facing this towards the measure unit, you'll hear it beep when it's done. Perfect, let it track you. We'll go about halfway. I'm going to do it again. And again, just setting this right in the edge of the coping. Right there. Okay, now we're going to go measure for the obstacles. We'll come over to the slide, add a point here. Again, the nice part about the measure, it's taking pictures in every point, so it's seeing what I'm seeing, so it's nice and perfect. In this video, we're showing you how to do it using the AB measuring method. All right, so before you start, make sure you have the Latham measuring template. This will give you step-by-step instructions of what you'll be looking for, how to put the points around the perimeter of the pool, especially there's features, spas, things like that. There's also going to be a couple other papers as far as a checklist, making sure you're answering all the questions they're going to need to know, a pre-site checklist, a paper to actually draw the pool and show where your AB points are, and the AB plotting. So we'll show you what these measurements are, but yeah, you'll need all of these to make sure you're doing it right. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll go around the perimeter of the pool, and we're actually going to put the marks on the decking. We should have some chalk we're going to use. We'll put a point and number it, because that's going to be very important, all the way around the perimeter of the pool, and we'll go ahead and show you how to do that. So we're going to start kind of on this flat spot right here, just to kind of make it easy. So when you're making our ticks, on the flat spots, we don't need to put them very close, but as this radius kind of starts getting tighter, we're going to move our marks closer together. So the idea is that in between marks, there shouldn't be any deviation in the change, right? Or any like curvature or anything changing. So between there and there, you're good. So mark, number 1, 2, 3, and see how it's starting to get closer. So I'm actually going to bring it in a little bit closer. 4, number at 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 9, 10. Perfect. Now go around the perimeter of the pool. Do that all the way around. So the next step is we're going to be plotting our A point and our B point. So I can show you on this. We have A and B. So there's a couple of requirements. We want it to be 20 feet or 2/3 of the pool, no closer than 3 feet away from the pool. So I've already placed our points.
but it's important. We're gonna go ahead and mark each point. So this first screwdriver right here, we'll do A, and then this other one is B. Again, I'm about 2/3 of the pool, and on that one I'm a little close, I'm 4 feet away, but this one about 4.5, 5 feet away. So, and then this one will be B. So now showing you kind of the next steps, we're gonna come to our measurement page. So we are going to measure, putting our tape on the A point, and then going to each point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so forth, and measure all of them from A, and those are our measurements, and then we will go to B and do the exact same thing again. That will then be able to plot the points so the computer can design this, right? Then we'll go into measuring the distance from A to B, our cross dimensions from, just your plotting points from point, 51 to 13 over there. And we're just gonna get some cross measurements just to help the computer pull all this information in. Again, if there's any obstacles, put those in. And then, of course, you're also gonna draw a pretty picture showing us where the A-B points are gonna be. I always try to draw a little compass in the corner just to help, reference points so we can know what we're talking about with Latham. Let's go and get measuring. So today I got Max and Casey helping me. Casey will be writing down my measurements, and Max is gonna hold the tape on there, make sure that my points don't move, because as I'm going, if that thing starts to shift or move, obviously that's gonna mess up our measurements. Also, important note, is we're gonna measure this down to the 1/4 inch. So round it to the nearest 1/4 inch, but that's as precise as we're gonna make this. The more precise, the better. All right, now straight off to point 1. Right there, you good there? And to measure, we're gonna try to go to that same bullnose spot on all the coping. So the same point right there. We'll call it 4 foot 3 1/4. So now, let me show you my picture. Okay, so it's not very good, but we've plotted A-B points. We've plotted in the skimmer, our compass. Obviously I don't have great handwriting, so don't come at me. We'll go through the checklist, non-removable handrails, no, go all the way through this. And the biggest next step is just please send photos. So if there's any weird thing, this part of the decking on that side with the waterfall, the cover box on that side, that rock, we're gonna take 100 pictures from every angle, making sure this is completely photographed. So if there's any questions, Latham can reference the pictures. Hopefully trying to speed up the process. But if you've done that, you get your measurements, you cross the measurements, you should be all set. If you have any questions, reach out to your sales rep.